Hey folks, Frank the Pestgeek here. Well, I woke up this morning and it was like 40 something degrees. So I managed to get out of the house around 12:01. I worked all morning in the office dealing with stuff I normally don't get to deal with because I'm on the road now. Uh, at least 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours a day, uh, running a lawn route. I'm going to be doing a podcast. I got Andy. I haven't done a podcast in like 3 weeks. My editor and the guy who publishes it, Eric, my trusty sidekick, got COVID, and he got hit hard, man. And he was in so much pain. And then 2 weeks after he got COVID, like a week and a half, he had to start working again and teaching. And he's wiped out. He's going to be dealing with the after effect of the tightness in the chest. And the thing is, he talks for 5 hours a day because he teaches. And he's just, by the end of the day, he says, man, I'm wiped out. I just got to go lay down. And just, I can't anymore. I'm just not able to talk. I start coughing. Once the adrenaline comes down and he relaxes, he just starts coughing, and, he's not sleeping well. Now he's got insomnia. This is the reality, man, of, of the new work. And if somebody gets sick on you, what are you going to do? You can't just decide to take it on. So I decided we just won't produce for the next 2, 3 weeks, whatever it is, a month. We won't produce. We're going to try to do as many live stuff as we can. But, I'm trying to relax on the weekends and do nothing. I've been recovering from um, burnout, from dealing with so many things personally for the last couple of years. And I decided, I got to, you know, take it easy, enjoy what I have, enjoy what I make, enjoy my home, enjoy my kids, enjoy my time, cut back on a lot of things, on a lot of projects until I can get the people in. So I just hired a part-time person to answer the phones. Here's the reality. We had a call center. They weren't answering our calls because they didn't have the people. They said, well, it's not that we don't have the people. It's that we took on a bunch of these contracts now all of a sudden because people didn't have anybody to answer the phones, and we don't have the people to answer the phones. It's like the catch-22. They're still not getting their phones answered. So I'm going to be doing a Rocky Patel. I decided to treat myself to a very large cigar this week. It's a Rocky Patel 20th anniversary. I got me some Monkey Shoulder bourbon. It's actually really good. It's inexpensive, but really tasty bourbon. And I'm gonna sit here. I'm grilling. I'm smoking some ribs. Let me see if you can turn you around. You can see my ribs. Look at that. I got my smoker going. That's my other grill. I'm gonna build a grill island. It's my 40-inch grill. That's a stainless steel ceramic grill, and I'm gonna build an island. I gotta just bought this place. I gotta do the patio. I'm gonna have a new brick patio put in, a little bit at a time. Other than that, I'm just chill out here in my lounge chair, um, watch the traffic go by because I'm like near a road and I got a lake over there and I can't see the lake. But I'm lakefront. Technically, I'm lakefront. You pay extra for the lakefront, but you don't get to see it. Um, so yeah. So what the heck did I do with my? Did I get my lighter? Did I put my lighter here? Cutter. By the way, for those of you guys that want everything like to do it yourself and want it free, this is a great device in case you're not circumcised and you want to do it yourself. You can just zip, and you're done, and you can get it done for free. You don't have to pay three, four, $10,000 for a second. Look, it only takes a second. That's it. I mean, can you imagine paying several $1,000s for a second of work? It makes no sense. I got customers, call me and says, well, how long is it going to take to do this service? How long, it costs $900. How long is it going to take? About an hour. $900 for an hour? Yeah, that's what it costs now. Since I have to pay 30% more labor and I've had almost 100% increase to double the price on my chemicals, 50% increase, which is, a doubling the price. And, they're complaining about, what it costs now. Yeah, so how long, treat a tree is, $90 to go there, and it takes 5 minutes to treat a tree. $90 an hour? No, $90 for 10 minutes. Um, so yeah, for you guys, really cheap circumcision tool. It works wonderful, bro. Look, it even does really nice thick ones. Mm, this is good. Mm, mm. We take the band off the edge there. This is going to be a 3-hour cigar. I'm doing ribs, and ribs are going to be 3 hours. Toast that footer. Oh, this thing is beautiful. So beautiful. Oh, look at that ring. Oh yeah. So anyway, I got a text from Andy this morning, and he asked me, "Hey man, I'm a solo operator. I'm looking to hire my first technician. Any advice for me?" I said, "Dear God, any advice?" It's like there's 1,000 pieces to that question. Um, that's not just something you can just answer. Um, it's going to come down to your DNA. It's going to come down to whether you have experience hiring or not. That's the first thing. If you don't have experience, man, that's going to be like, I told them, it's going to be like, passing glass instead of kidney stones every day. It's going to be painful. Um, Learning how to hire and train and recruit. I mean, you got to have a training system. I keep having this conversation with people that hire people and says, people don't stick around. They don't last. They get instantly frustrated. I says, well, think about it, dude. You're a solo operator. You got everything in your head. And I have this conversation at least once a day. You got everything in your head, and you don't have a training system, and you're gonna throw this guy out there and just wing everything. So my thing is, he told me, well, I've got experience in helping build a business. I've been a manager before. I've hired and trained people. He's got this part of business development. He already knows how to manage. He's been a pastor, which if you don't know how hard it is to be a pastor and deal with people and all their problems, it's amazing. So he's got 90% of this licked. His main question was, how do I fund it? And that one is going to be a tough question too, because I don't know how much gross margin you have left over. Do you have enough to hire somebody full time right off the bat? Do you have enough business, first of all? If all of a sudden you went and spent 30 days training a person to do an exterior treatment, which is the easiest thing, an outside treatment, perimeter, doors, windows, and deal with the callbacks, and then you're handling all the sales and new starts, so that you can get this guy going quick. That would be my thing. Is speed trumps everything. If you're gonna put a new guy out there, you can train him in a week to do perimeter treatment outside, to do callbacks on an ant problem, depending on your protocol. How do you do crack and crevice? You do the basic things to get him going. No, he's going to be with me 90 days. Well, bro, if you can afford to pay a guy 90 days for sitting around in a truck with you, and you think it's going to take 90 days to teach him how to do a German roach cleanout, to do an ant control, and American roaches, which is probably 95% of all the calls you're going to get initially, and you're going to have that guy 90 days with you, you better hope you've got, that's $6,000 in training. Yeah, no wonder. You guys some of you guys, the stuff I hear from you, it's like, you ain't got $6,000 to throw out in training for the guy can quit after 2 weeks. Because you got to have a training system, and you got to keep hiring until you find the right guy. Right now, can you start that guy off part-time? Once or twice a week, just to see. I would start people part-time and tell people, most people say, look, are you going to offer work-life balance? What salary can you afford to pay? Are you going to hire somebody with experience or without? He's looking at starting somebody up with no experience. He's going to train him up his own way. Brilliant. So the idea is you got to have enough gross margin. I lost my. Oh, there's my little string. You got to have enough gross margin to sustain yourself and sustain that guy. Let's say you are excellent at sales and you have a marketing program, and can you increase your marketing program now to double, triple, to get quadruple the calls so that you can immediately start building the second route and cover his expenses. So you got to look at all this. You got to look at what can I realistically do? Do you have an extra 1,500, 2,000 a month in advertising to crank out ads and get instant responses? Have you been charging super premium prices and you've only, have 150, 200 clients? I don't know. If you only have 200 clients or 100 clients and it's barely paying you, can you borrow the money on an SBA loan, $50,000, and put it aside just to cover salary for the first year for somebody, because you're going to pay around $36,000 to $50,000. If you're in California, can you get somebody for $20 an hour? What's that weekly? I mean, my part-time tech right now, on 30-something hours, he's grossing almost $700 a week. I'm paying him 25% production. He's now handling all the customer calls and complaints himself. I get him through the system. We put it. He calls the customer back, schedules the callback. But he only has to schedule maybe one or two a week, maybe one a day tops if we're unlucky. And I told him, I said, it's going to be on you, bro. If you the more callbacks you make, the more times you're going back for free. But he's been with me 2 years. 2 years of experience before I did this move. So it isn't like we just throw this guy out there without building up the route, without making sure he's going to get more money. That he's not suffering, that he's not taking a hit. We did this in Christmas. The first question was, man, am I going to make enough to cover, because it's Christmas and I want to do things. I said, bro, you're going to make more than enough. You're going to see a 20, 30% increase in your paycheck. So it allows me to take less calls a day so I can focus on sales calls. I hired a new person to take all the calls. So now the only calls I take after they've been filtered through a call center, through a person taking the call, is they need a quote. And that's maybe 3 a day, 4 a day, 5 a day. It all depends on the day. By the time that process is done, that sale's really done. It's about, do you hire somebody to answer your calls part-time during peak hours, 5 days a week, and that it frees you up 2, 3, 4 hours a day to do more work. So again, when you're doing, for the guys that have never hired, man, it's going to be tougher now than ever. You're going to have to poach. In order to poach a happy employee, that's good. You want the happy ones. You want somebody that's still working, but he's happy. So you ask him, working for this company, hey, bro, you pull him over on the road and you talk to a tech. It's, hey, bro, are you happy where you're working? And if he says, no, bro, the company sucks, I'm miserable, this and that, keep going, bro. You don't want that guy. Does, yeah, bro, they treat me great, I'm happy, I work this many hours, I do this and that. How much you make? You want to make 20, 30% more doing the same thing and be happy? Yeah, you got a guy. You got to become a recruiter, man. Once you start growing, it's always be recruiting. You're always going to be recruiting. If you're going to be running ads, Facebook ads work great for recruiting. Here's the problem. If you write a crappy ad, you're going to get crappy results. If you write a Facebook ad right now emphasizing work-life balance, 4-day work week, and maximum industry pay, higher than anybody. If you offer 20 to 30% more than anybody else, that's a strong offer. You're going to get quality candidates. You start putting an ad out which has the top 20 must-haves, and you write an ad like if it's a job description, you're not going to get anybody. You got to become a salesperson. You got to, what's in it for them? Forget what's in it for you. What's in it for you is getting the top people. If you're going to train them yourself, and you're going to raise up your own people the way you want to do it, and you've got a training program, then write an ad. Best training in the industry, top industry pay, work-life balance, 4-day work week, weekends off. And then you filter the best people. You're still going to get a bunch of crappy people thinking they deserve that. Guess what? That's your job as a recruiter, to filter out the crap. It's that simple. That's the game. Why don't you apply the same principles in sales and in marketing for getting your clients, and invest in much effort into creating a culture and a system that people want to work for you, and that they want to stay there, and that they're happy. My guy has no stress because I do all the sales. So if I know that's a crappy customer, I say, listen, I'm going to price it, and it's like, I know it's going to be a headache customer for him. How many headache customers? Less than 1% of our customers are headaches. What do we do? After a year, I say, listen, this is going to be your price. If you're going to be a headache constantly. And usually they quit. Usually they go somewhere else. So my guy doesn't have to deal with any headaches. He doesn't have to do sales, only if he wants to. I don't force it. He's handling one call a day on a question. That's it. One complaint a day, maybe. It's not even a complaint. Sometimes a question, like, customer calls us, hey, you just did an initial service and I still have ants on my counter after 2 hours. I said, that's your problem, bro. Because that you failed to educate that customer on the experience. Remember, you're supposed to tell them what you're going to do when you go into the home. Because I told them. But you're going to redo this. After you're done with the service, you're going to tell them what you did and what the expectations need to be, and that you will be back in 7 days, 5 days, 3 days because of the level of infestation. If you failed to tell the customer what to expect, you're going to get that call. You're going to have to handle it. That's how you train people. I throw that monkey back on your lap and say, that's your problem. Because you've been doing this for 2 years, and this is not new to you. The account didn't get collected because you were there. Are you going to have your technicians do collection? Hey, on a new start, you try to charge that card. That card don't go through, that's a red flag, bro. You need to get a card right there on site, or a check or cash. Or when you go back to do the follow-up and it still isn't paid, you let the customer know, unless they come up with the money, they don't get their service. Do we charge the technician back if the customer doesn't pay? Not if we did our due diligence. If the customer cancels, do I charge that tech back for that work? No. I pay him on production because I know my numbers. I know my no pay rates are less than 1% annually because I'm a hawk on that. Cancellation rates, we already price it because we know the rate of cancellation. So we're going to make our money on that job. He's going to make his money on that job. If the customer cancels after the service is done because they feel the product and got serviced, the tech doesn't get hit on that. Now, if we start seeing the callbacks go up through the roof, I'm going to be the first one out on that field, doing the job of a service manager. I got a 3 service rule. If you can't solve it in 3 shots, I get involved. You know how many times I've had to get involved in the last 3 months? Zero. Are we growing at neck-breaking speed? Hell no. Because this is how you control quality. Gradual growth. I'm building out another van. As soon as I'm building out that van, which I already got 3/4 of the equipment for it, probably build it out in the next 30 days, 45 days. That's going to be my van, which I'm going to be doing GHP termite. It's a flagship van. It can do GHP termite and lawn, and it's still going to have a ride-on sprayer spreader inside the van. This thing is top notch. It's a flagship system I'm building. I've been dreaming about it for 6 years. My other van converted to GHP and start hiring another GHP tech immediately. Why? Because I can put a GHP on the road in 40 hours by himself, and he's going to run, and he's going to call me 3-4 times a day for a month. What's going on, guys? Okay. He's going to call me, and that's fine. But I have every time it's a training opportunity. Be careful with that. It's hot, okay? Okay. Yeah, you can just put it there. That's fine. And that's it. And you know what? This is how you do a perimeter treatment. And then what I start doing is, once he's been in 1 or 2 months and doing that, hey, I'm going to start training you how to do roach cleanouts. We're going to go today. Dude, what did I tell you to be careful? I know, but why can't you just put your bike on a kickstand without tripping over it? Be careful of that grill. You need to stay away from that. It's like, pay attention so you don't get hurt. I know. And how many times have you put that bike up on the kickstand? None. Okay, now go, scram. Get out of here. That's how I train, bro. It's if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Just be careful. Close the door, okay? I don't want the smoke getting inside the house from the grill. Okay. So, minimum stuff, getting them productive right away. I prefer part-time to start and letting them work up to full-time. You're going to have, reality is, if you're starting out as a brand new company with low wages, you're going to have to hire kids. Just like McDonald's does, just like Subway does. Unless you're going to hire seniors that don't need a lot of money, but he can do the minimum. Is he going to have to crawl into a crawl space? Are you doing termite? Are you doing lawns? What is it that you're going to have this person do? You can't start, well, we do wildlife, and we do, this, and we do that, and you do 17 things, and you're expecting one guy to do this. It takes me about 2 years to train a solid tech. Sorry about that. Solid tech. Because there's so many things they're going to come across. We got a big problem with small flies here in Florida. Those are a bear to try to deal with in the home, constantly. Crawl spaces, house with crawl spaces are complex. There's a learning curve, but I can get a guy productive in 40 hours. And then the following week, hey, we're going to go out. I got a road job. I want you to meet me at this road job. I'm going to show you how to do it. Hey, I'm going to do an initial. I'm going to have you start doing initials. I just sold it. I'm going together with you on this initial that I sold. And I hold their hands. And then I spot check his first week, second week. I'm picking up accounts. I'm driving through a neighborhood. I'm going to stop saying this account. He just did this account 2 days ago. I want to see how clean those windows are. I'm going to see where the webs are. I'm going to check those rodent stations. That's the job of a field service manager. So you're going to be doing sales, marketing, field service work. You're going to have to do a lot of new starts that he can't do. Take the complex accounts away from him so he doesn't fail. You don't want to give this guy his first week your worst customers that always complain about something. Remember, if people walk into chaos and they smell chaos right now, 95% of your people are not sink or swim people. They are, I want a job where I can go do my job. I don't want any office politics. I don't want to be in a negative environment. You can't have a guy running around and saying, hey man, I gave you 15 stops your first day. You need to crank those out, without giving them the expectation. Have a ride along with every single tech before you hire him. You want him to see what he's going to be doing. He doesn't have to do a darn thing. Here's another strategy. You say, hey man, you got to hire quick. If you wait 10 days to make a decision, guy applying, and he's good, chances are he's already going to get hired in the next week. He's not going to sit around waiting for you. I said, bro, let me see what you do, who you work for. If I get a good, a good hire, that they will rehire you at your last job. Get me 2 to 3 references, and I do a background check on you. And I can do a background check on you. You can pass a drug screening. You can't do pot and drive around in the morning high. You can't be doing drugs and having, okay, I'm going to do a drug check, whatever your policy is. And I can get you hired tomorrow. I want you working with me tomorrow. And you hire him, you fill out all the paperwork, you do the W-2, and you put him on the road and you pay him for that day. And you evaluate him. And by the end of the day, if that guy if your gut tells you, don't hire this guy, tell him, hey, listen, bro, I don't think you're going to make it. I made a hiring mistake. I'm sorry. And let him know, listen, I'm going to take you out for a day. And if I don't think you're going to cut the mustard, because look, during an interview, everybody's going to tell you what they want to hear. How does he actually interact with that client? You knock on the door and ask that client, hey, we're here to do your service, ma'am. And do you have any problems indoor? You do? Great, we're going to be inside in a minute. And if you don't, we're going to do your outdoor service. And when I'm done, I'll just leave. How does he interact with that simple interaction with a client? When you tell him to put that B&G back, does he throw it in the truck or does he put it back neat every single time? How is he going to coil that hose? Does he care if it gets coiled right? Because if he doesn't care on his first day that make sure everything is back in place, that truck's going to be a mess. I can walk up to my truck any day and that truck is organized. It gets cleaned every single week. He takes it and washes it every single week. When it needs an oil change, he's got a company credit card. He goes and gets the oil change done. It's tire rotation after every second oil change. He gets it done. All the maintenance that's done on the vehicle, he gets it done on the route during the day because I give him enough time. What are you going to have him do? You need a complete job description of everything he's going to be responsible for. And what I tell him is, by week 1, here's what I expect you to know. Here's what I expect you to have read. Here is all the biology on all the ants you're going to have. You print out, you're in California, go to Berkeley, entomology, and you print out every ant he's going to have a problem with. And you expect him to read one of those a week. One of those every 3 days. One of those a day. By the end of the week, this has to be read. I'm going to quiz you on this daily. If you tell me you didn't read it, you're not going to work out here. Because I'm looking for the best. I'll pay for the best. I'll pay the highest wages, but I demand excellence from you. I won't accept excuses from you. If you tell me you're the best guy out there, and I'm paying more than anybody, and I'm giving you flexibility where you can come in, my guy comes in whenever he wants to. Hey, baby. I tell him, you schedule it around your school. You schedule it around the client. You schedule it however you want. If you want to go in at 9, some days he'll go in at 8 o'clock in the morning and he'll start his route. Some days he'll work up and he'll go in at 9. Some days he'll go in at 10. Because the client says, bro, I got to go all the way to the beach, and that client can't have me till 10 o'clock, and I'm going to work my way down, and be done by 4 o'clock. Great. Some days he's out there till 6. Some days he's done by 2. I don't care. I'm doing what everybody says can't be done with my people. I'm giving them the highest wages. I'm giving them 1 day a week you want to take off. Make sure your route's done. I don't want to see anything left over for the end of the month. He had one client that he moved over because he says, bro, the client told me that the gate's locked, I can't get in, and he's out of town until the beginning of next week. I said, great. The communication's there. He's telling me what's happening on the route. I'm seeing his notes. I don't have any complaints. People are paying. The numbers are there. So, what do you got to offer? What are you gonna do? That's different to get that employee. I don't care if he's 18, 21, 24, 30, 55, 70. Can he do the job? And, if I need a guy to get into crawl spaces and he doesn't fit in a crawl space, I can't hire you. Funding is the hardest thing because everything you do potentially affects your payroll. All right, Papi, but not right now. Just go outside and play, not right now.
No, we just want to show you.
I know, I seen it. Got it.
No.
Thank you. All right. Because if you make a bad call on a purchase, like right now, I had to buy several $1,000s more. Like I had to double my order on all my products to make sure we got enough products for 3 months, because we don't know what's going on with a lot of these products. We had bad calls on them. I got to have enough cash to have those products and make sure payroll's there. I just hired an assistant. I got to make sure payroll's there. I got to bust my butt. At the end of the week, it's like, I got to make those sales. Whatever calls come in, I got to make the sales. I got to take on the work. That puts an enormous amount of pressure on people because you got to make payroll. And payroll taxes and payroll workman's comp, I had 3 people, and everybody has workman's comp. Why? Because Florida says I don't have to have workman's comp unless I have 4 employees because I'm not construction. That still does not relieve my liability if a person gets injured. Am I willing to take the gamble on a $30,000 injury because there's no workman's comp? No. So we pay workman's comp. These are the real hard core issues. It was easier for me to hire a person to answer the phones, so I can just crank out the work. I'm not worried about who's calling. Crank out the work. I get a text with a quote. Boom, boom, boom. Get on my phone, write up the quote. Takes me 5 minutes. Send it to the client. I'm only taking calls because here's the other thing. Marketers. She has to field like more calls from marketers on a daily basis. 4 or 5 marketers calling. I'm not going to be answering the phone and, bro, I can't talk to you right now. Bye. I didn't ask for your service. I'm not interested. I don't care. Bye. I told her, bottom line is, if they don't tell you why they're calling and they want to talk to me, they don't get to talk to me, because to let them know, I says, unless I know exactly why you're calling, don't expect a call back from Frank. So if it's a customer and they need to talk to me, it better be a billing question, or if it's a question about service, who's the tech on that account? Write up a task for that tech to call them. I don't call people back. It's that simple. It's a billing question. Let them know I'll get to it by tomorrow. I'll get them an answer and fix that billing problem. I get 1 billing call a day. This thing is super yummy, bro. Rocky Patel, 20th anniversary. Sweetness. So, Yeah, lots of things to consider on the funding part. You need at least, listen to me, guys, at the beginning, and I'm going to tell you how you fund this very carefully. You need to have enough work where you can't answer the calls anymore, you can't do the service, and you can't do the sales, and you're working maybe 10 hours a day. $150,000 a year in revenue. If you're doing 10,000 a month, you should be able to hire your first technician. What you want is a plus 50 plus percent gross profit margin on all your services. Ideally, you want to be in that 60 range of profit margin so that you can afford you and a tech. If you're pulling, I got guys that are pulling all the profit out of their business and they're living large their first year, 2 years in the business. I took a $28,000 salary for the first 5 years. I lived like I was broke so that I could afford to pay somebody else. How do you come up with a 60% profit margin? Your cost of goods between hard parts, chemicals, and everything can't go above 15% a year. On chemical alone, if it's above 3%, you're wasting the chemical. You're doing too much. But you got to factor in, if you're doing rodent stations, those get expensive. What I do is I bill the customer at a keystone. I buy them for $15. I sell them to the customer for $25, $30, and then you got a $10 maintenance on them. We got a package deal where we charge $19.95 for maintenance with their home pest control. We make good money on those. Chances are we're replacing 1 block, 2 blocks when we're going in. They take 3 minutes to service. Most of them are clean. Not a big deal. Takes about 15 minutes to service all the stations, even carrying the bucket around. But you need a 60%, ideally you want a 60% gross profit margin. Gross profit margin, you calculate it as cost of goods, employee salary, commission. In other words, if you're going to pay a 25% production or 18% or 20% production, or you're paying hourly, it doesn't matter. You need to factor it in as a percentage. You have to convert it. So if you're paying $13 an hour and that turns into a 12%, you need a 60%, but you need to factor in all of the vehicle expenses. Gas, insurance, maintenance, that truck note that you got to pay every month. You got to factor in that as a cost of goods, even though in the cost. So what you want is, after you've done the service, you want a 60%. That's where you want to be. At 55, you're okay. At 50, you're going to hurt. If you're in 40 something, you're in trouble, because you will never have enough profit to do the marketing you need to do, because you pay all these other bills off of that 50%. You're going to pay your marketing, you're going to pay your office, you're going to pay yourself off of that. So whether you go hourly, production, salary, whatever your state will allow you legally to do, it's going to depend on your state. There's no formula. Florida says no problem on production as long as it exceeds the minimum wage. Salary must exceed the minimum wage. It has to be a manager to be on salary. If he's doing both sales and service, no problem. You can do 100% commission. It just has to exceed the minimum wage, and it has to exceed the weekly minimum. So now you got different laws in different states. So ideally, if your prices are not giving you a gross profit, you want is about a 90, on average, you want about a 97% profit margin on cost. Still in my pajamas. Um, you don't want to go at a 3% cost. What you do is you factor in what's it going to cost to do that job chemically, maintenance on an average, and then what you're going to do is factor about a 97%. What you do is you take the cost and then you divide it by, let's say, point 97, and that will give you the price roughly that you need that maintenance cost. It works for me to do it that way. That gives me a really nice cost of average. And if you starting from zero-based budgeting, where you don't have a history of, you don't have a year to analyze and you're starting out, you can do zero-based budgeting. There's a couple of other formulas. Basically, production in California, man, a guy needs to produce about $800 to $1,000 a day, so you can pay, the average good tech in California. He needs to be doing 60-something thousand a year to live. Not in Iowa. In Miami, a good tech, in order for him to live and buy a house and live a decent life, 55,000. That's with him and his wife working each, so they can make 90,000 a year, so they can own a starter home. Bobby, what's up? Right. What do my goal is to be the highest paid guy, to be the highest paying guy in Miami, not in Florida, not in the whole world, just in my market. I got to charge the highest rates, and I got to give the best customer service. If you give the best customer service, you create a brand image that you can justify charging 20-30% more than the average person. What's up, baby?
Nothing.
Then you can pay the highest wages with the least production. So your fees have to be up there. If all you care about, I've had this conversation at least 2 to 3 times a day with guys who are charging $35 in and out. And I said, you'll never have enough money to hire a decent technician so that you can pay him a decent wage unless you have an enormous amount of route density. And usually they don't. Because route density, you can only get it 3 ways. Extensive marketing locally, advertising, like putting in some serious cash into advertising, door-to-door sales. Get away, go away. So all of these factors, and why people say I can't hire, I can't find people, well, you got to poach. You got to become a poacher. I want to hire somebody that's already working. That's why what I'll do is, here's a tactic I've used in the past. I ask somebody, are you working? Yeah. You like where you're working? Yeah. But, I want to make more money. Bro, that's beautiful. I want happy people that want to make more money, because I can show them how to do that. And I say, how much you making? Okay, you're making this now. Are you willing to work at night for the next couple of weeks, months, after you're done with your job, and come over and work with me, just temporarily, so you can get the hang of it, see if this is for you before you make that jump and take a risk with your family salary, and be prudent, because you got to pay the price somewhere. I mean, you can jump ship, and if it doesn't work out for you, if you don't work out for me, I'm letting you know right off the bat. Listen, these are my rules. These are my protocols. This is what we do. This van stays clean. You got to do all this. And what I hire, honestly, is I hire people with management skills, soft skills. I hire managers. I hire people that I don't have to manage, that I can lead, that are leadership material. They just don't know it. So what I do is I use Criteria Corp for profiles, and I see if the person has administrative and management capabilities. Because I can't really test for his dexterity skills unless I actually see him working. You can't test for that. You can test for attitude. You can test for the aptitude. You can test for all that, but you still, it's a 50-50 crapshoot. Except you got a better 50-50 chance than if you didn't do it. The guys at Colony Confidential, I mean, if you listen to their podcast, great podcast. They use predictive index, similar to it. You're going to spend the money, $2,000 a year easy. Ads, you got to have an ad budget. Go to a restaurant, you got a good waiter. How much you making here, bro? A week. Do you enjoy it? Yeah. You look like you enjoy it. You enjoyed it? Yeah, man, I love it. How much you making? Would you like to do pest control and make more? If you don't ask, you don't know. Here's what anybody can tell you. No, I'm okay, bro. Thanks. So you get 100 no's in recruiting. But you're out all the time. You're in the field. You're seeing people. You're talking to people. You see the landscaper. Man, that guy is doing a bang-up job. Hey, bro, do you work for yourself or you work for a company? No, bro, I work for a company. He says, bro, would you like to do something that's less physical, that pays you more? Because I saw your work, bro. You've got amazing skills. You could make more in pest control. Bro, you got to be selling all the time. Bro, I spend more time talking to people and analyzing people and getting feedback from people than anything else. Why can I afford to live the way I live and have what I have? Because I charge high rates. I rather do one job at double the price than do two jobs. I'm lazy. I mean, it's just simple. So when I give my average ticket for my tech maintenance, somewhere around 75, 80 bucks. He gets paid 25%. Callbacks are almost none. He's going back. He went back this week one time. One callback all week. We charge for every follow-up on initials. Go to my website, naturepest.com. Go look at my pricing. I got an order form. Customer sees the order form. They either buy or they don't. They want what we have or don't. But by the time they get there, they've already seen all my videos. They've seen what we do. They've had 2 to 3 companies. They say, yeah, nobody does what you do, bro. I'm sold. That's why I do what I do. Now I just need to 3x it, 4x it, 5x it until I can 10x it. So yeah, guys, thanks for the question. I hope that I've given you enough to be able to analyze. Like I said, I got friends in Alabama who are doing $35 a month. They're $70 bi-monthly. So they bill the customer monthly. So the monthly income is coming in. He's right now the highest priced guy in Alabama in that area. You say, but that's not a lot. Well, that's the highest price in that area. I got a guy in California. He says, bro, I don't do I buy monthly for less than 120. Bi-monthly in California. He's in LA. I don't do it for less, and he's got 10 technicians. All his technicians are making 65 a year plus. His lease guy is making 50. He gives all his technicians, all his salespeople. He just bought his 3 salespeople that he has. He bought them Teslas, decked out Teslas for sales. Top-notch operation. You want to have nice trucks, nice equipment. Don't give your people crappy equipment and bad trucks and expect them to pull out miracle. Have them, if you want people to have pride in their work, give them the tools, give them the training, give them the education, give them the information they need so that they can have pride in their workmanship. Nobody wants to work. I get those guys, bro, I get told by my boss, I had a guy call me and says, bro, what do I do? All he tells me to do for roaches is to spray this inside every house, and the people are complaining. I says, bro, you work for a crappy company. I can't help you because you can't change that. So what do you have to offer people that's going to make them want to work for you? Do you treat them like human beings, or do you treat them like a number? For his birthday, do you give him a bonus? I say, bro, here's a bonus. Here's $100 for your birthday. I walked up on my guy, $100 cash. I said, bro, you've done a bang-up job this week. Bro, here's $100 cash for you to go out on the weekend. What's going to motivate him? Is it a new tablet? You find out, bro, I got my girl who's she's into photography, and she wants to get a new camera, but she doesn't make enough money. If she can pull off what I need her to pull off the next month, I'll show up with a camera that's $800 and motivate her. I don't need her to stay with me forever. I need to her understand that I'm looking out for her and for what's in her best interest in life. And if this job is temporary for her and her future is in photography because she told me and I know her, then that's what I'll do. Hey, don't hit the trees. Don't hit the trees. Kids whacking trees pisses me off. You don't whack trees. I teach my kids to respect wildlife and nature. I'm not a tree hugger. I'll give it a kiss once in a while. So find out what motivates your people. Hey, what about giving them a per diem that says, bro, lunch is on me every day. Here's a company card, $15 a day for food. Lunch is on me. And take your half hour, please. I give my guy a company card. If he's going to work late, sometimes I'll tell him, bro, hey, you're working late, bro. Why don't you go grab dinner on me? That's what you got to do. What does he need? You figure out, hey, he's trying to save up money for a tablet. I said, I'll make you a deal. Get me this done this month. And next month, I'll get you your tablet. You got to do the things that is in their best interest. If him getting out early every day is his best interest, is bro, if you come in at 6 and you can start your route at 7 and you're done by 3 and you want to be home by 2, I got to be home every day, done. I got an alarm clock on my phone because I got to be done every day by 2 o'clock. I got to pick up my son at school. That's not negotiable. So if I'm an hour away and I need to get back here by 2:45, I got to be in line at 2:50 to pick up my son by 3. It's not negotiable. I built my business around me, my family, what I need to deal with my family. I don't about what my competition is doing. I don't care what my competition is doing. I'm looking out and saying, what can I do? So treat people right. Treat them with respect. Treat them with integrity. Let them know that, hey, I know that right now you're important to me. And if you want to stay with me for the next 3 years, great. If I'm a stepping stone to your career goal, then I want to be the best stepping stone you ever had. I want to mentor you because I want you to have success. I'm not going to be selfish and say, no, you're going to work for me for 10 years when I know you're not. But I want to know that what your plans are because I'm going to help you. You have those conversations on the interview and they're genuine and they're heartfelt and you back it up with actions, because what things people say, no, bro, he told me he was going to do this and do this and do this. When one of my techs complains about an equipment that's not working, bro, bring that over. Let's take a look at it. And the next day, bro, go to the store, bro, and buy a brand new one. I'm not going to wait around a week with a leaky hose. Just go buy a brand new one. We'll fix this one and it'll be a spare. And it'll be in the warehouse, and whenever you need it, if that one breaks, you got the spare. having people walking around with leaky hoses because you don't want to spend money on equipment. Charge enough, pay people well, give them good equipment, give them what they need, give them respect, give them integrity. You'll have great people. You'll build up a reputation with, because that guy, I told him, I said, bro, do you have any of your friends that can work part time? He says, bro, they all got jobs. They're working 12 hours, whatever. They don't want this responsibility. But hey, you know what? That's how you get people. The best place is to get your own people to do recruit. Bro, this is a great place to work. The boss is great. They treat me great. Look what I made last month. He just gave me a brand new tablet for me. What does he need? He's got a brand new car, bro. Well, hey man, here's free car washes, bro, for your new car. Find out. But if you're so busy, just the only thing you care about is the numbers and the business, and you're giving them pushback on everything. What I tell is, I says, I buy that piece of equipment for you, bro. I expect this result. I don't expect you to give me excuses. If I invest the money in what you're telling me you need for you to be successful, and you don't pull it off, you're gonna find another job. Because I don't put up with excuses, but I will give you the best I can. You gotta be straight up with people. You have to have candor. If people see that you have candor, but you back it up with actions, they'll walk into hell for you. Hey, this is Frank the Pestgeek, wishing you a pestacular day.